How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running its May savings sale. There's a ton of deals available as a part of that sale, as well as the Golden Week sale. Want to do something a little bit different. I want to highlight some of the games that really stuck out to me under the price of $2. Some of these I've played, others did some looking into them, and they look like they might be titles worthwhile to pick up at some point. I'd like to get to them. You guys know how the deal is. There's a lot of games to be played and so little time. But let's go through all of them, and we'll go through each game fairly quickly. Again, all under the price of $2, so if you just have a couple bucks laying around in your PlayStation wallet, these titles might be something to check out. First of all, we have Outlast, obviously a no-brainer if you're into survival horror games. This is one of the most iconic games of all time from a horror standpoint. And it's one of those games that really brought back like that eerie vibe of horror. It is a trippy game, and you know, one from an atmosphere standpoint is really, really stellar. Even a decade later, after it's come out, Outlast still holds up very nicely, and it is a game that I would play around, you know, the Halloween and whatnot, but still, anytime you can play Outlast for $1.99, it's a great deal. Next up, we have Psychonauts, which is 80% off for $1.99. Again, another very iconic platformer. This is a game that came out in the mid-2000s, had kind of like a cult following, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. Ultimately, it didn't blow the doors off it commercially, but there's been this fervor of excitement surrounding the game, and ultimately it did lead to Psychonauts 2, and that game turned out really well. Psychonauts 1 still a classic platformer. Does it have its jank to it? Absolutely. It's a mid-2000 game, but if you want a platformer that's also incredibly charming, you're going to get a really good time out of Psychonauts, and for $1.99, the perfect price to pay for this one. Next up, we have SteamWorld Dig. If you're a Plus subscriber, it is $1.49. Now, let's not make any bones about it. As far as SteamWorld Dig goes, the second game is better than the first, but the first game is still pretty solid for $1.49. It's a platform mining adventure, Metroidvania, pretty good gameplay, and you know, the Metroidvania genre does have a ton of competition, so a lot of these games do seem to, you know, fall under the radar, fall through the cracks these days, but SteamWorld Dig is a solid one. Even if the sequel is outstanding and a little bit better, the first game for $1.49, a worthwhile pickup. Next up, we have Salt and Sanctuary, 90% off for $1.79. We just had the follow-up to this game in Salt and Sacrifice. Salt and Sanctuary, on the other hand, has you explore a haunting, punishing island in a stylized 2D action RPG. Salt and Sanctuary combines fast and brutal 2D combat with richly developed RPG mechanics. Very much Souls-like elements going on for it, but as far as presentation goes, very much different, but still has that dark ambiance going on for it that I think can draw a lot of people in. For $1.79, great price on this one, and yes, Salt and Sacrifice is out, but you can check that out once it gets cheaper and cheaper. Next up, we have Shyness the Lightning Kingdom. This is a game that came out a few years ago, didn't get a ton of buzz. I had a lot of interest in the game when it was leading into its release, but it is an action RPG coming from an indie studio that lets you travel in a captivating universe doomed to destruction ever since the fragmentation of the planet Mahara. Hyperdynamic combat, mixing magic with combos, parries, and blocks like a traditional arena fighter. Develop two types of skill, explore and interact with a vast world made of multiple environments thanks to you and your companions' special powers. The game didn't get an overwhelmingly positive reception, 68 on Metacritic, but hey, for $1.99, if you are in for an adventure title, Shyness might be one worth checking out. Very colorful art style in this one as well. Next up, we have Cosmos Bit. Now, this is a game that is an absolute throwback, and when you look at Cosmos Bit, you can immediately tell what they were going for. It is obviously a harken back to old school Metroid titles. Cosmos Bit is an old school Metroidvania that'll take you on an extraterrestrial world painted with the legendary Amstrad CPC's color palette. Reworked for modern devices, the game is enjoyable for both veterans and newbies of the genre. A tribute to the Metroidvania genre, retro gaming, pixel art style, high-level synthwave soundtrack. Collect minerals and develop your skills. Unlock new skills in order to get stronger. Wide variety of monsters and environments. Puzzles to solve. 4 bosses to find and defeat. All of that can be had for just $1.49. Next up, pretty notable game and one that got a lot of popularity on PC, we have Deponia. In Deponia, the world has degenerated into a vast garbage dump. If you're into narrative-driven point-and-click adventures, this is one that'll be right up your alley. Unique comic style with hand-drawn HD resolution 2D graphics, bizarre characters and wacky humor, challenging puzzles and hours of dialogue, unique universe in the tradition of Douglas Adams from the creators of the award-winning games Edna and Harvey. The Breakout, Edna and Harvey, Harvey's New Eyes, and The Whispered World. This is very much lighter on the gameplay aspects, point-and-click adventure for $1.29, something to check out as well. Next up, we have DISTRAINT Deluxe Edition. Now, if you're into more off-the-wall horror games, DISTRAINT might be something to look at. It's a psychological horror game with a throwback visual style. It's a 2D psychological horror adventure game. In order to secure partnership in a famous company, Price sees the property of an elderly woman. In this very moment, he finds out the price of his humanity. You step into the shoes of an ambitious young man named Price, side-scrolling 2D with unique hand-drawn graphics, atmospheric music, and sound design, minimalist interface so your focus never wavers from the experience. Delve into a unique story full of intriguing twists and one-man effort, no asset flips or cheap tricks, just hard work. So support the title, and with the Deluxe Edition, you do have some additions added as well. Dynamic coloring, no more lantern, enhanced animation, graphics and lighting effects, refined audio, and improved user interface. And DISTRAINT Deluxe Edition is available for $1.19, 80% off. Next up, we have an open-world narrative-driven RPG. As noted, 90% off is Smoke and Sacrifice for $1.99. Smoke and Sacrifice sees Sachi, a mother forced to give up her son, adventure into a grotesque underworld on a quest that'll lead her to a darker truth. With the odds stacked against her, strange creatures challenging her at every step, and the ever-looming smoke waiting to seal her life and memory, will Sachi ever discover the truth of what happened to her son? Again, this one is 90% off for $1.99. Next up, we have Silence, which is also 90% off for $1.99. This saw a very strong reception. Can you save Silence the grim but also serene world between life and death? Can you help Noah find his little sister in the suffering world? Can you bring her home, explore Silence, and join the siblings on their adventurous journey? This is another very narrative-driven game. Join Noah and Rini on their exciting journey through Silence, where an emotionally gripping story of contrast between serenity and danger unfolds. Meet fascinating and likable characters like Spot, the magical caterpillar who helps Noah and Rennie on their way through Silence, elaborately designed 3D characters and opulent 2D backgrounds, 3 playable characters, and new characters throughout the game as well. Silence received a 75 on Metacritic and can be had 90% off for $1.99. Next up, here's one that really piqued my interest. Seasons After Fall, a gorgeous 2D platform puzzler. Seasons After Fall is a 2D platform puzzler game that will let you dive into a captivating universe and explore a land governed by magic and nature. Saw a really strong reception with a 75 on Metacritic. Discover a world brought to life by stunning hand-painted graphics and original music performed by a string quartet. Visit enchanted vistas and sceneries while the music, the mood, and the atmosphere change seamlessly with the seasons. Seasons After Fall is discounted 80% off to $1.99. And lastly, I do also want to give a shout to the Swapper. The Swapper's been around for a while, going back a decade. What if someone knew your mind better than you did? The Swapper is an award-winning narrative-driven puzzle game set in the furthest reaches of space. Definitely has more of a darker look going on, with an emphasis on its atmosphere. A strong 87 on Metacritic. An isolated and atmospheric sci-fi world, players wield an experimental device which allows them to create clones of themselves, swapping their entire consciousness into new bodies to overcome the challenges of their environment. A powerful and thoughtful story told through the game's environment. Wonder the art in the Swapper is constructed using clay models and everyday materials. Again, really strong reception on this one, and for $1.49, something worthwhile to check out. So that is going to be doing it for me. Again, these games are super cheap at under $2. Really, if you just want to try something that you might not know what it even is, or exactly how you personally are going to enjoy a game, but it's only a couple bucks, might as well try something new if you have a couple dollars lying around in your PlayStation wallet code. Again, all of these are a part of the May savings sale. A list to all of them will be in the description box below. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.